If you don't plan, that means that you plan to fail. Yes, sir. So welcome back to Organic Wednesdays. You already know, favorite day of the week. Really not really, but because of this, yes, sir, it is the favorite day of the week. So hopefully everybody's Wednesday, everybody week, everybody weekend, going solid, real smooth. Me personally, touching off of last week, we've been getting better at time management, especially getting up earlier to record. So, we've been cranking out 2 songs every morning. Just to, get the ball rolling and just basically keeping it going. So I'm real proud about that. Shouts out to my man Roy. We played ball yesterday. Niggas feeling good, sore as shit, but had a great time. So that's the main thing. So hopefully everybody else is getting to it, man. Staying consistent and just making sure, they're being themselves and being as authentic as possible in what they do. So what we're gonna talk about this Organic Wednesday, I ain't gonna hold y'all too long. We're gonna talk about having a plan and what that means. So if you don't plan, that means that you plan to fail when it's something that you want. I forgot who told me that. And I don't even know if it even came off that way, but pretty damn close. So why is that so? Because you think about it, when you try to go into something just blindly, without research, without any ideals or anything, and just say, you know what, I'm gonna make this happen, and then you just go in, 9 times out of 10, ain't gonna work. You're gonna flop. You're gonna flop. It's gonna be a whole big mess. And you're just gonna be right back at the drawing board trying to figure out where you went wrong. And why is that so? Because you didn't know what you were walking into. You didn't know what to expect. You didn't know how to get there. You didn't know who got there. And you didn't have nobody to help you. That's one of the biggest things is just you got to make sure that you have an understanding of your situation. So what happens when you have a plan? When you have a plan, and let's start off with what goes into making a plan. What goes into making a plan is knowing what you want to do. That's the best place to start. You got to know what you want. You got to know what you want to do. What exactly is your goal? Do you want to make a lot of money? Do you want to have success in some type of way? Do you want to help somebody? Like, what exactly do you want to do with with your situation? So that's the main thing, identifying what you want to do. Next, how you going to do it? There's more ways than one, but you have to pick a way that works best for you. So exactly how are you going to do it? How are you going to approach this goal that you have? And with that, you got to do the research about the methods of doing it. Are you going to take the way that, let's say music, are you going to take the way that 50 Cent took? Mixtapes, grind, hustle, hand in hand in the streets, do your thing. Or are you going to take the way that, somebody like, I don't know, like Eminem did it? Battle rap. Your man's passing out the tapes and just trying to get to it. Even Lil Uzi Vert, for instance, SoundCloud, just consistent with the music, networking. Like, it really just depends. Not every way works for everybody, but there are some ways that work better than most for others. So it's all about figuring out what method is going to work for you and how are you going to get to achieving that goal. And then once you finally have that plan, you got to execute. And that's a whole different thing. At that point, it's just time for you to do what you got to do. But the main thing is, you limited the chance of failure that you have just by having this plan. Because without this plan, shit was going to go left. Shit was going to go left real quick. And that's where a lot of times I'm starting to learn personally in my life, so I'll start with the podcast. We tried to do a podcast. It was me. Shouts out to Book. Shouts out to Lotto. Shouts out to Wood and the homies. So basically, we were talking about how we wanted to do a podcast because I was once on a podcast before called Prolific Culture. Shouts out to my man Joe. Shouts out to my man Roy. I just talked about Roy earlier. And it didn't work out. Why it didn't work out? A whole number of reasons I can get into, but I don't want to talk about it right here. That's another video. But in this specific instance right here with Boog, Lotto, and Wood, we made a plan. We drafted something up that basically said this is everybody's job, this is what's going to happen, and it didn't work. Nobody stuck to the plan. It fell through. I could say that me and Book probably stuck to the plan more than probably Woog and Lotto, and I could say that I could have this conversation right now because this is the same thing I would say to them at that time, or even still today. Like, this is something that everybody knew. We had a plan, and it just didn't work. But the thing is, we had a plan, so it made life a lot easier about knowing what to do. Imagine just going into, an operation like that as far as a podcast, and you don't assign roles, you don't let nobody know what their job is, or nobody knows how much they own of the podcast, just little details like that. If you don't break that stuff and go over that stuff, everybody lost, and then niggas get mad at each other, and then that's how you see some of the craziest shit happen. For instance, I Am Athlete and the pivot is doing great right now, but that whole situation of the pivot breaking off from I Am Athlete is because of not having that plan and not having that set in stone. So having a plan just eliminates a lot of the bullshit, a lot of the shit that you bicker over, and a lot of the shit that could have been settled real easily. So that's really the biggest thing, is just having a plan makes your life so much easier. And just identifying how you're going to get there and why is this the best way for you, and then just executing, man. Giving it your best shot. Let's say your plan doesn't work. At least you know exactly how you could improve your plan. That's the biggest thing. So that's pretty much like the biggest things about, having a plan this week. That's what we're going to talk about. Other than that, I hope everybody's Wednesday's going great. Hope everybody doing their thing. And I'll see you guys next Wednesday. All right.